What is up?
Come on.
Yeah.
Easy now. No playing hockey game while we're...
All right. So, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Lighter Side of RC After Dark, episode 44. If you guys can confirm that you can hear me, that would be wonderful, because we are using a new cell phone. And when I plugged my microphone in, it was saying that, asking me some questions about new stuff. So anyways, how do I get the chat on? There we go, live chat.
Yeah. Hornet Flyer said, yep, audio is good.
Beautiful, that is wonderful, thank you. Awesome, well welcome to episode 44. It's been, I think the last one was maybe 3 weeks ago, because the schedule was supposed to be last week, but we were in Montana flying at the Glacier RC Club, one of my favorite places to fly, possibly for the next 2 days, and then we'll see what happens. You like that? Just throw that little dig in there. What are you doing?
I'm addicted to turbines.
Wow.
You smell the metal. It smells great.
David's not going to be very happy if you drop that.
Oh, no, you got stuff down. I'll take this and give him a new one. Oh.
So we've got lots of projects accomplished. Picaro Black and Red, Picaro Picarito Green and Purple is all done. We just did the test runs this morning, and everything is awesome with them. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. We started on the Rebel Classic, which is right in front of us here. No, it's okay. I'll just move this.
Okay. Right there. That's good.
And yeah, so just started on this afternoon. And I'm going to be putting a fuel bag in this plane. So it's going to be the second plane I've put a fuel bag in. And I am videoing this one. Unfortunately, I couldn't video the first one for non-disclosure reasons. But this one is being videoed, so it's going to be a bit of a how-to tutorial on installing fuel bags. And this plane's kind of an interesting one because basically your fuel bag goes, or fuel containment device goes right in this section right here. And so far I've been crazy impressed with how this is working out. So very excited to share that with you guys as well too. We've just got some stuff high-soled this evening or this afternoon, so we're waiting on that. Right there in that little box, I think it's on the camera. Yeah, it's on the camera. That is a Linton turbine. Linton turbine that they sent to me to test. So we'll be doing, we'll be doing an unboxing video and test run video of the Linton turbine. Yes, I am not a Linton turbine dealer. They contacted me and asked me if I would be interested, obviously, in doing the video, giving them some feedback and sharing it with YouTube land. So that's why we have that turbine. They look kind of neat and interesting. I saw them for the first time at Jet Power last year, just briefly. And I think one of the Jet magazines that just came out this month had a review on the same turbine. I think that's either a 80 or 95 or 90 or something like that. I'm not sure what size it is, so I can't remember. And the last thing I wanted to share that I wrote down is Towfield is a go. So Towfield is kind of one of our local-ish events, and it's 3.5 hours north of me, and it's a full-scale paved runway, and it's phenomenal. Been flying there for many, many years, and our event has been approved. Everything's good to go. And it's also been approved for public to come and attend as well too. So it's going to be fun, and really looking forward to that. So I think, Ward, what did we say that starts on the 10th? Is 10th the...
Yeah.
10th is the Wednesday maybe, or Thursday? Anyway,
it's a Thursday.
Thursday, July 10th, if
Yeah.
that's the right date, but it's right in that range.
July 10th is the correct date.
You can park on Wednesday night there.
Yeah, Wednesday night you can park there. We've got camping arranged for a fee and stuff, but yeah, it's going to be fun. It's always great. The runway is like 4,000 feet long. It's awesome. It's a ton of fun. So looking forward to that event. I always do every year. It is a blast. Last weekend, we took Artemis down to Montana to do some flying for the first time, and definitely 2 thumbs up. It was awesome. Super happy with everything. We were parked at the field on the first day. We got there about noonish, and it was overcast, so things were fine. But Saturday, we showed up at the field, and there was a bunch of members there for the morning. They left, and then in the afternoon, it got quite hot, and we were just chilling in the trailer between flights in the shade, and it was cool. There was a breeze passing through. Yeah, ate our lunch in there, and it was like, it sure felt like 10 degrees cooler than outside. It was awesome. And it's just nice to have the space too. So yeah, it was great. Really happy with that. And
Okay, ready for some questions?
yeah, ask away.
David says to Russell, leave the X132 on the bench.
There you go.
Okay. And Klaus says, dig harder on the club, Jonathan.
Oh, I can dig harder, Klaus. I can dig harder.
And Stacy says, yeah, no touchy, Russell. I guess they're picking on Russell tonight.
Actually, you know what? I was thinking about this all week that we've been dealing with this drama. People always ask, I get a lot of questions, where that comes from. The name, Lighter Side of RC. A lot of people know this about it, but the things we're going through right now are an exact representation of that. The lighter side of RC has nothing to do with the value of planes or what we build or what we fly or anything like that. A lot of people assume that it is, and they say comments like, oh, you should be calling it the more expensive RC or whatever. What that has to do with is the amount of politics involved and drama involved in our hobby. And I think it is absolutely silly. It's blown out of proportion, and far too many people get on this high horse that they own the club they fly at, or they own the club that they've been managing for a long time, and that's not the way it is. All these clubs are nonprofit, unless you run a private club, but all these clubs are nonprofit. They're there for people to have fun, and that's where that name comes from. I hate dealing with the politics side and the pettiness of some people in this hobby, and I'm not talking about the people that fly turbines, fly warbirds, fly foamies, fly helicopters, fly whatever it is. We all fly stuff in the air and we all fly toys, and to discriminate against one side of the hobby is not acceptable. So that's my frustration. Thanks, Klaus.
Thanks, Klaus. Just kick that right off.
I'm just foreshadowing. You better not drop that, because that's a special serial number.
Okay. Hornet Flyer says, are you a Zykoy dealer? Or Chikoi, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, my
Well
mistake.
Not officially, no. But if you contact me, I can get you a Chikoi turbine.
Someday soon.
I'm not listed on their website as a dealer, but I have connections.
Oh, that's why.
Aaron Forth says, well said.
Thanks, Aaron.
And Stacy says, amen. And Aaron Forth says, he wants to vote you president for ERCS.
Wow.
Mr. President. No. Too far to go.
Well, you can only be president of so many clubs, I guess, but
Yeah.
it sure would be nice sometimes. I think about that often. Yeah,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
David says, amen to the lighter side of our hobby.
exactly. That's it. Too much drama, too much people thinking that they own everything.
Yeah.
Just let us fly our toys.
Okay. Jeremy says, how do you feel about RC tank drivers through, though?
I think that's cool. So when I got back in the hobby, so when I was a kid, like younger, like kid meaning like mid-teens kind of thing, I did like the RC car stuff. Left RC in general until I was about 25 years old. And what I started back with was actually crawlers. So my boss at the time came into our office and he's like, dude, you got to see this thing. And he brought out this crawler. Like, if you don't know what that is, it's like going really slow, driving over rocks and things like that. So that's how actually I got started back in the hobby. So I ended up buying a crawler, ended up back in the hobby store, always wanted to get into the aviation side, went over to that side of the store, and that was it. I bought a helicopter and just kept rolling, and I did the RC crawler stuff for a couple of years, and it was cool. But yeah, so tanks and things like that, I think that's wicked. I've seen a few videos of like a wife coming down in the basement and Buddy A and Buddy B are in their basement, like excavating their crawl space with little RC things. And I think that's awesome.
Now there's the one there where the guys are actually driving them. They're
Yeah.
inside of them, and these little itty bitty tanks are driving around, and I don't know if
Yeah.
they shoot or not, but
Ultimately, to answer your question more simply, if you're having fun, that's it.
boys and their toys.
Sure.
Men's toys are just more expensive.
Absolutely. Agreed.
That's how come women don't like us, because we keep on playing with our toys.
All right.
RH wants to know, Jonathan, are you coming to Jets over Kentucky this year?
I will not be at Jets over Kentucky. I don't even know when it is, but I unfortunately won't be there.
He did invite you to his house to help finish his Futura.
Nice. I'm just going to flip this around so I can see as well too. There we go. So now the logo is going to be backwards for anybody that's concerned. Yes, it's backwards because I'm using the forward camera. It's okay.
He doesn't trust my
All
voice
is
in the
well
camera.
in the world. Yeah, so event-wise, the next events I'm going to is going to be possibly next weekend in southern Alberta at Lethbridge for a day, but most likely it's going to be Towfield July 10th-ish, and then we're going to Montana the 21st week is the plan, and then the next US event is going to be Turbines and Tumbleweeds in Sweetwater, Texas, beginning of October. But before that, I plan on going down to Phoenix area to do some flying down there the week before. So anyways, that's my travel plans. We've got a few other local events in August and September as well. So Mike McGrath just emailed me or messaged me and said, I think he's talking about the logo and the meaning behind it. So yes, quite honestly, that is the meaning. That's where the lighter side of RC came from. So yeah.
Sheldon Campbell said a visit to the club today, and they said we might have to limit the members and the turbines.
Frick, eh? It's the same crap, man.
Yep.
It is the same crap everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just come on, people, have fun. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's have fun.
So frustrating. I think we're caught up in questions. Yes?
JLK is July 13th to the 19th from Victor RC Jets.
All right, guys, so let's take a look at some things, some details. Picaro video number 1 came out. See?
That's my phone.
Good thing it wasn't the turbine. Russell's playing with your turbine, David.
No, I've already sent him pictures.
What was I talking about? Oh, Picaro videos. I think today, what was today's video? Oh, today was the unboxing.
Yeah,
Picaro video 1 was Wednesday. So the final video is going to be probably, I don't know, this coming week, Wednesday or Saturday, one of the two. Anyways, let's take a look at these guys. So they're built exactly the same as far as basically the entire aircraft. There's a couple minor changes. So if you looked inside mine, it looks the same inside. Aaron says, Russell, don't break it, put it down. So yeah, here's our standard layout. The only differences with David's Picaro is we've got a 100 milliliter UAT versus
David
mine
said
has
you
the
need one.
160. Couple servo differences, but basically they're laid out the same. So we've got all of our stuff right here underneath the tray, so just like that. But that is our layout. So super clean, very nice, very nice. Really excited to fly this plane. I'll show you the inside of the red one just so you can see. Oh, the red one's got the bolt done up, so it looks the same, no different. I'll show you the things that we picked up recently, or we had arrived. I guess if you watch the video today, you would know.
Oh yeah, is that out?
There we go.
Well, what is that purple, yellow, and green one?
So beautiful. So we've got the F100 from Carf. They did such a nice job on this aircraft. I love all the different panel colors. I covered this in the video, but because we were at the field, it was a little bit tough to capture this stuff. But you know, we've got different colored panels there. The back end of the aircraft starts to get temperature changed. Yeah, it is beautiful. And just size-wise too, So if you look at the size of this thing, so we've got a Skymaster A10 there. The noses are lined up. I think that shows up well on camera. But then you can see how much bigger the F100 is back there. So it's just a monster. It's awesome. So it is beautiful, very nice.
Jordan says they fly really nice.
Yeah. So it's going to be very light. We're going to try and put a fuel cell in this, and that's the plan. You have kind of limited access where the tank goes. So the tank kind of sits in this area, I think. But we have a workaround. We can always make an access panel for filling. So there's lots of different ways to deal with it. Yeah. And then we've got another Rebel Classic here. So that's my Rebel Classic. And then this is Coco Cool's Rebel Classic. So
this is kind of like a Cayman scheme.
yeah. Well, it's like the one that we got before, but I think it didn't have the checkers on it. I can't remember.
No.
But it's got a reverse on it. So
Never seen that. Because it looks like Cayman scheme, but yeah, really nice.
and then we'll pop this guy off so you can see. Maybe. Oh my gosh. Hard to do that with one hand. Oh, well, it's too big. Please stand by. Oh, Arnold said, damn it, Russell.
Yeah, Russell did it.
I don't think we're live again. We lost everybody, though.
Well, we got everybody's, there.
Good?
No. Got your face there, yep. And Russell.
Back. Yes!
Yes, we got it.
I took Wi-Fi off, and now I'm just streaming via the
Data?
data. Awesome.
Oh, it's going to cost you a fortune.
It's unlimited, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
no data. Who cares?
Yeah, sorry guys about that. That's one of the unfortunate things living in the country is we don't have lines going anywhere, no fiber optics, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
That's weird. Oh yeah,
Says
fuel
it's really
bag.
good.
That's what we're talking about, fuel bag.
You were talking there. You already got it started there.
I know, it's ready to install.
Oh shit! I see the.
Yeah.
front.
It's
That's a
done.
good
So
slot.
I'm gonna share this fuel bag stuff with you guys. So I started this afternoon on the Rebel Classic, and my mind is blown at how well this went in. So I'll share it with you.
Quick.
Yeah, it was really quick. So
But it's just, that's how it sits like that. That is, whoa.
So this is the 3-liter fuel containment device. This one came from Jordan Factor. He's one of the CARF pilots. They came in a plastic bubble wrap mailer. I'll grab the other one here.
Oh,
So
buffering again. There you go.
So this is how they came shipped, flat packed, right? You can see the size difference here between the two when it's flat versus inflated. So the reason I inflated this one is just so we could see the dimensions, right? When you're putting it in and getting it set up and everything, this is pretty much the best way to do it that I've found. One of the comments Russell made when he first saw this was like, I wish the clunk would be, you know, longer or whatever, more
10 minutes
flexible.
ago, yeah.
But you have to remember that when this thing, as it's emptying, it's completely collapsing and it will suck every last drop of fuel out of your fuel containment device. So very impressive. So this one uses 8mm rods. So the 8mm rods go through the tabs right here, right? So we don't want to put those in because I've already got the mounts installed in the plane, but there's 2 8mm rods, so that's fine. You pass me the red keeper.
Yep.
And then I 3D print these little keepers, and these little keepers fit right over. Hey, Waz from Dubai, wow. These keepers print over or fit over top of the carbon rod. Now these keepers are, I think I got them from Thingiverse. Now I've seen a lot of guys that install the fuel containment device, AKA bag, bladder, and they've got these big clamps, right? The downside to the big clamps is when that rod's sitting in the bag, if you have a huge clamp, it's going to be kind of pushing the bag over and it kind of sits funny. This fits nicely right here. Now the downside to this one is it uses a 3mm bolt and nut. So when you put this on and tighten it down, that bolt is actually pushing into the carbon. Now, I don't think it's a big deal. It's going to be localized. You don't need to tighten it so much that it's putting an indent in the carbon rod. So that's kind of an important thing. You just need to be gentle with it. But I'll show you guys the airplane side of things. So in the video I'm doing covers all this stuff as well too, like the install of this. It's going to be quite detailed. So basically the bag itself, I'll put it in for you to see, but the bag sits right in that lower area. These are our front mounts right there. Those are just, I made a cardboard template and cut them out. So they're spot glued with CA and they're high-soled right now. So the high-sol is still curing, so it's wet or damp or not cured. Well, it's kicked off now, so it's firm. And then these back ones are little half circles that I cut out. And same thing, same aircraft ply. I think it's like 3/8 ply. It's pretty thick stuff. And that sits over top of the phenolic tube. Now the Rebel Classics, they are now coming with carbon tubes. And this used to be fiberglass, and now it's carbon. So they've upgraded the strength of the aircraft a little bit. They used to come with aluminum tubes and nice sized carbon tube on that guy. So that's our layout for the tank. So what I'll do now, if you want to take that, I'm going to slide this tank in and I'll show you guys what this looks like. So there was a bit of a, because this is angled in the front, I think we had to go...
Pull it back.
So if we go in, through there, and then forward, that's going to work.
Because it was digging into the nose when you're trying to take it out from the front.
Yeah, so if we go like this, and we don't necessarily, like, when I'm putting this together for the last time, you really, actually, I'm not, you know what, I'm not even going to put the carbon rods in. When you put this together, you're taking the air out anyways, so let me just set this in, and you guys can see how it's going to sit. So it's off the base, I don't know, like I could fit my hand underneath there. And then we're running it, I mean, you can run it wherever you want, but we're running it about a finger and a half, so about an inch off the wing tube itself. Yeah. But that's how it sits. It's beautiful. So it's raised up a little bit from that position. There's a nice space between the fuselage and the fuel cell, nice space on the bottom, and then this front section as well too.
Yeah, this is really nice how it goes in.
So just sits in there beautiful, and then we've got it raised up kind of about like that. So it is awesome. It's shorter than the stock tank. So this is where it's sitting. The stock tank comes out to here, actually past here. So you're saving about 5-6 inches of length. The benefit to that too is now all your fuel is shifted closer to the CG point because your CG on a Rebel Classic is back of wing tube. So really impressed with this setup. It's been great. The planes I've flown so far with a fuel containment device in them, I have been very impressed. One of the tests I did on the last plane when I first put it in is filled the fuel cell up to its max amount and ran the turbine between half and full throttle the entire run. And I just ran it till it stopped sucking anything out of the fuel bag, and it drained that thing. There wasn't, I wouldn't even say a teaspoon of fuel left in that bag. It was amazing. So really impressive. I think a lot of people have the stigma that these things, you know, when you fill them, you could put way too much fuel in there. Well, if you fill it up and you're making it like a medium rare steak like this, that's it, right? Like you can't put too much fuel in this thing. It's a rigid shaped bag. So
Don't turn it into beef jerky.
yeah, it's pretty awesome, very impressive. So when you fill this, the fill is right here. The pull for the turbine is right here. So when you're filling this, you're going to be filling fuel through this port. It's going to be filling up the bag. When your bag gets almost full, all you need to do is pull this up a little bit so your peaked right there, you put your pump in reverse, it sucks that little bit of air out at the peak, and that's it. It's that simple. On the Rebel, obviously we've got to keep that in mind because that fill port is going to be right here. So what I'm probably going to do is put a through fitting right here, and our filler is going to come up and then maybe forward. So that'll be coming out and forward. And then when we are doing that fill process, so the bag or the tank is getting full, it gets full, you pull up from here, right here, because you have access. Your fueler is hooked up right here. You back a little bit of that out to suck the air out and you're done. So it should be awesome. Normally we've got our tank installed in there with a plate and all of our stuff is mounted on the plate. Well, in this case, we're probably going to put our Cortex right down in this area right here, and all of our other stuff is going to be hidden on the inside around this side plate right there, because we can basically fit all of our receivers and everything in this area. So it'll still be a nice, clean, hidden install. So what we're doing right now with this is we've got everything high-soled, and we're just, tomorrow we'll be able to paint the inside of the fuselage. So that's kind of where that's at, and we can't really move forward with the fuselage anymore. So that, in a nutshell, is our fuel containment device installation in a Rebel Classic with that. So if you have any questions, ask away.
Well, Nick says shorts. Anyone would think it's summer. Yeah, it's nice here.
It's very nice here.
And he also said, what's their resilience to a high-speed arrival?
Well, the thing about it, that's a good question. So we were actually talking about this earlier today with a couple of guys that were here visiting. So this is the stock Carf tank, fiberglass, so not Kevlar, fiberglass, quite thin. Like if I take this and push on it, I'm not pushing hard, but it is very squishy, right? So if you're in a crash, not a crash, if you're in a high-speed arrival, 100%, unless it's a very gentle arrival, this thing is going to crack. And when it cracks, you have a big gaping hole. All of your fuel drains out pretty much on norm. If you guys saw my jet power video of me jumping on this thing with just air in it, I think they're quite resilient. Yeah. So Jordan Factor, who we got this bag from, the Carf Flyer, team pilot, the one that we saw at what's the event I went to? Joe Nall. He had, I think that was in his Diablo maybe, whatever the big one is. I think he had like 60 or 70 flights on it at that point, and it looked awesome. So zero issues with it.
Looks like one thing advantage about the bag too is we come in on a fast arrival, it doesn't split. You may get a puncture and it's just a little leak.
No, I mean, unless you had a razor blade or something absolutely cut this thing at the right position, I don't think it's going to splinter or break wide open. Yeah. I mean, if you got a puncture in this, your fuel's going to trickle out, spray out like as a minor stream. So, this worry people have with these fuel bags, and I had the same worries, right? I was like, that's crazy. I'm not going to carry my fuel around in a Ziploc bag. But after seeing this thing, very impressed.
That ain't no Ziploc bag.
No, very impressed. They're very, at least the ones we've dealt with. So I think on our last live, I had a CM Jet tank as well too. I've been using that one. It's awesome. And this looks awesome too. So yeah. They're very nice.
Yeah, Sheldon Campbell says he has a bag in his Rebel Max.
Nice.
Works great.
Yeah.
And Nick is getting cold, I guess. It's winter down there.
Oh my gosh, -15.
That's New Zealand.
Ouch. So David said, today I had 8 flights on my Rebel Hot with an X70 and a 1.5 liter fuel bag. Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, the Carf Diablo video I posted was 10 minutes long with a fuel bag. That's from Victor.
Yeah. That's one of the things I was actually thinking, so while we were in Montana flying last weekend, I was thinking about my BDX. So my BDX has a 6-liter tank, I believe. And I wouldn't change it in my BDX. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But like, if a sports jet can have a fuel bag, man, I am absolutely on board now. Like, my BDX, I fly for 7 minutes and then land. I always put 2.8 to 2.9 liters back in. So I'm using 50% of the fuel, in the bag. So
We flew out on how many times?
So I would, in my BDX, I would put a 4-liter fuel bag in that BDX, still fly my same time, and have 1 liter left in that tank. So like, it just makes sense on so many things. I get it, lots of guys poo-poo it, and it's actually not allowed here in Canada right now. So hopefully that gets changed eventually, but I'm impressed, very impressed.
David says he has a 5-liter fuel bag in the Carf 100.
Yes, we do have a 5-liter bag that is planning on going in there.
Put it up in the air and go put it in a circle and sit down and have a beer or two and then come back. And
We do have I do have a 4-liter bag here as well too. And I was just talking about a BDX with a 4-liter bag. Huh, interesting.
I know there was.
Interesting.
A couple weeks ago, I saw it. Where'd it go?
I don't know where it went.
It's not at my house.
Awesome. Did I see a Hangar 9 Corsair on the table? I don't think so. Oh, Hangar 9 Corsair is off the list, by the way. Yeah, I think I took it off the list. Hangar 9 Corsair is no longer on the list. It's been replaced by some other projects. Just looking through this. Kenneth said, a little warm at Joe Nall, wasn't it, John? It was hot. Fortunately, when I got there on the Thursday or Friday or whatever day it was, I brought the nice weather and the rain stopped. So that was nice, but I'm not used to the humidity. It's hot and humid. So Nick said fiber tanks are more prone to splitting due to be rigid where a bag has some give. Exactly. That's it. David, you said we'll have the 5-liter bags.
he's got 5 and 4-liter bags that Joe know.
We're almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit in Georgia. And humid, that's the difference. We're not humid here, so. So Airmang, earlier, did I see the Hangar 9 Corsair on the table? No, we've got, the only Corsair we have in the shop right now is my big Carf one, behind you guys, over here.
Yeah, the P-47.
And that's the only Corsair we have left now. We've got Spitfire, Corsair, P-47. That's it for traditional warbirds.
Yeah, then just 2.
Kenneth, I was there, we met. We met? Really? Maybe we need to press a little harder for fuel bags. I think we do, Aaron. Yeah. They're phenomenal.
I think the guys on the turbine committee should actually go to some U.S. events and actually see what these fuel bags are all about.
Well, as an example, like if I had a plane with me that had a fuel bag in it for one of my customers, I would happily bring it to tow field and let people actually see it as well too, because when you see these things and you see how they fill and you see how they operate, it can be an absolute game changer, and I think it's safer. You know, you can fly the entire quantity of fuel and not have to worry about air bubbles. You know, one thing I used to do in my other planes, or a lot of my planes, like I think about the Kinetics as an example, I think that's what it was, the Kinetics, that had a really square tank. I ended up putting 2 UATs in that plane because when you got like halfway into the flight and you did any aerobatics, the clunk was always out of fuel and it would suck air constantly. Yeah. So it actually ends up being safer, in my opinion. So.
Alan says, good subject for John Homer and Alan.
Yeah, Aaron said good subject for John Horner and Alan. Yeah.
Who are they?
They're our zone directors and jet committee.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I was.
Who's been mysterious?
2.9 years left in his F4 after a flight.
Yeah, Flash is a good example. And some planes like the Picaros over there, you can't put a fuel bag in them, right?
It's just the way they're designed.
Yeah, and you
right?
can't you can't put a fuel bag in your Ultra Flash, but a Carf Rebel Classic. I mean, so many of the new planes, you've got so much room for a dedicated fuel cell with nothing around it, so it's really good. Yeah, Stacy agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
some people have a hard time taking change.
It's not change, it's actually progressive change.
Yes, progressive change, exactly.
It's not like something that, like, you're gonna watch something burn to the ground, it's actually an improvement.
Well, it's safer, really, if you
Well,
look at it.
it's also safer for the pilots because you're limiting your chances of air bubbles
Yeah.
through the system and having a flame out any other time, even on startup or flying or any time.
Yeah.
You're eliminating that. Plus, the bonus is you're saving weight.
Well, it's also, so you're saving weight. It's also cleaner.
Oh, it's a lot cleaner.
So if you think about like a regular airplane with a vent line, you take off on grass or asphalt or sand or whatever, the vent is sucking in stuff, right?
Oh, no, that's
So over 100 flights, how much stuff does it actually suck in?
crap.
And that's going into your fuel system, gets sucked into your UAT and your fuel filter and, you know, yada, yada, right? So, you know, with the bag, it's completely enclosed.
Yeah.
Would-
It's a containment.
Fuel containment device.
That's
Do you
exactly
think?
it.
Do you think the bag would actually be able to get rid of the UAT, or the UAT?
No, it
would
does
be
get
able-
rid of the UAT.
Yeah, it would be able to
Absolutely.
get rid. So it actually even saves more time, weight too.
Yeah.
Well, it saves the bubble problem with the UAT. It really does.
Yeah. So it's a,
We've all had to learn how to adjust the bubbles and get the bubbles out and
Yeah.
try the best different pickups.
Shake
and
the plane.
positions.
Yeah.
Shake the
No,
plane.
that was the old ones, but the new ones, no. Like when you were talking, like even like stuff like this has your pickup's way back here, so it's down here, and it's got a baffle on here, but it still sloshes back and forth. You get air with the fruit bag or drinking bag like this. I mean, you're not getting any air.
no, there's none.
It's just like a big drinking bag.
Well, that test that I said I did on the one I installed it in already, like I ran the turbine half to full throttle till there was nothing left in the bag.
It was actually cool.
Like
It was actually cool.
crazy.
I was just like, that's neat.
And it's not a bubble that's stopping it. It's
the lack of
Choked off
fuel.
air.
It's the lack
Yeah.
of fuel.
Which
You
you
all
choke
of a sudden
it,
go
not-
like,
Yeah.
"Whoa."
So what actually happened was the fuel quit because there's no fuel left. The fuel in the line cavitates, so it pulls out a bunch of air out of the fuel, and that's it. Turbine shuts down, and there's no fuel, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, Swamp Fox says, I say we need a governing body that can accurately represent the hobby. Safety is not always first, otherwise we couldn't get anything done.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that in construction too.
Yeah.
Man, that's a really stiff rod too. Where you got these from?
Those?
Yeah.
Amazon.
It's the fueling issue they're scared of. Yes.
Yes.
Understandable. One thing I'm going to do in this Rebel Classic fuel cell installation video. So this will be a great example. It has nothing to do with building the plane. This upcoming video is all about the fuel cell. And I'll be filling this with my standard fueler, and I'm going to be sharing on the video how much of a non-issue that it actually is. So hopefully that video is a good representation of how it works. So
Well, like we get into bigger planes, like my Pro, if I had a bag like this, it would allow better access to my front bolts
100%.
into the wing. I mean, it just makes it easier all the way around to have one of
Yeah.
these. That's another benefit of it.
And you don't need what's in there, 5 liters?
Yeah.
So that you need a 4-liter bag.
Yeah.
So
I think what they also bring in is like, can you overfill them? You
no,
can't.
you can't.
You know, like say you can overfill these because they'll eventually start spraying out all
Well,
over
it
the
just
place.
starts coming out the vent.
Yeah,
And into your catch tank.
yeah. But those, no way. It just,
Yeah.
I don't even think the pumps we have, you will actually hear it
I-
if it starts, it'll drag.
I wonder how much pressure it'll take to burst the bag.
Well, that's what
I'm sure they probably did.
on, what's his name?
Well, they're
Pickering did that.
tested to, I can't remember on the CM Jets tank that we had, but it's tested to a certain number of bar. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's you blow into it and that's good. It's
Yeah.
got some decent pressure behind it.
Mr.
right?
Pickering did it on a fuel cell too.
Yeah.
You blew it up and see how far you can blow it up.
My God, he would have that thing.
Nick, bunch of winos with your bags.
Put the old wine in.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's probably where they'll try to say, well, they can burst or whatever. You overfill them. Well, you can't.
Yeah.
I think you burn out the pump putting
Well,
the fuel in
pump-
before
the pump will
that
labor
bag.
for sure. You'll know.
Yeah.
You know,
probably
it.
just-
Yeah, it'll be good.
And shut down pretty well.
Well, yeah, and if anybody's not listening to their fueling, I mean, wow.
Swamp Fox says the bags could be marked with a max pressure rating as well as a max suction rating clearly marked on the bag. I don't know if they do that.
Yeah, the CM Jets one have a pressure test. I don't know about max, but these guys don't have any labels on them. I'm not sure if the other one. Let me grab the other bigger ones that we have.
Yeah, it's designed by an engineer, Jordan. Engineer.
Yeah,
You know it's engineer proof.
yeah. Fuel bags.
Also, it's imperial, not. It's in metric. We had this conversation. Metric rules,
Yeah.
not imperial.
Oh, careful now.
So here's the bigger ones that we talked about last time.
Wow, look at that.
So same manufacturer, but this is the 4-liter one. Yeah, we don't have any stamp or anything on it. Same thing on the other ones. So
Yeah, sure. You probably just have to let the government know how safe these are instead of just them listening
Well,
to somebody say, "Oh, it's safe."
it's not the government.
Mac.
It's
Or
it's the
Mac.
It's the Mac.
people behind the hobby.
A lot of people, and there are other people in our hobby that have been with Mac and stuff, that there's certain people that sit on the board who do not understand the area that they're in control of, whether it's free flight, line control and stuff like that. They're just not up to it. And they're not willing to actually put in the time and the effort to actually understand the upcomings in the hobby.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of changes too. I think sometimes that's very scaring them, is that they don't know what they don't understand the changes. Yeah. That's could be a lot of it.
Yeah.
You're talking to a guy who doesn't like change, but change is inevitable.
Yeah.
No matter what. Unchained.
Certain change is good.
Change always happens, no matter
It does.
good or bad.
So Aaron said, David, thank you, Jonathan.
Aaron
Go.
also said something there.
So Aaron said, unless you're some people I won't mention, they would start fueling and pump the whole blue jug onto the ground because they started talking and forget that it all came out the vent. Yes. I know. Well, I don't think he is on here tonight.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Wow. Yeah, we have to talk off camera about that.
There's 2 guys I know with girls' names, and one of them Stacy, and he wasn't the one that did it. So we'll just leave it at that. Sorry, Lindsay, to insult your name. Oops.
Oops.
But we all live up to our shortcomings. Forgetting to plug in the back of the elevator.
Swamp Fox said they are not in control of the change. That's right.
Yep. Stacy goes,
That's
"That's
right.
funny."
Cool. What's our time at?
I know.
Quarter minute. So you guys got 15 minutes left before our official cutoff time. Not that it really matters, but
Hey, so that new Rebel, is that Voodoo Purple?
It's a different purple than that.
I think so.
I think it is. I only have a little bit on mine, so I'm like, but there's a lot of that on
Well, the
there.
purple on my BDXS is it's
could-
sparkly purple on my BDXS.
Yeah, no, I think that might be a darker purple. I think the Voodoo Purple, it's what did they say? The one guy said it's like the LA Lakers colors.
Yeah.
The purple with the yellow. That's just really nice with that green in there. That is really
Sheldon mentioned
you
about the.
don't get to see that. That is very.
If you go back a bit, Sheldon asked about, can you put a?
Aaron said the Russell rule because you brought up your elevator.
The Russell rule.
Yeah, Sheldon mentioned he'd love to see a bag, I guess, put in a BDX.
Yeah,
But there's also
Is
the
there room,
sunglasses
or is there a
rule,
way to
there's
put it in?
totally room. Like so, if you were to take that 4-liter bag and put it in my BDX, it would actually fit beautifully,
Wow.
and you'd be losing 4 pounds of weight initially
Yeah, for the 2 liters.
for the 2 liters plus a little bit for the tanks. You're probably 4.5 pounds lighter.
Wow.
And that's
Just on that.
That's significant. You'll notice that.
Yeah.
Then you be able to fly in Montana.
Yeah.
Then you can actually go ballistic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You could go ballistic on takeoff and do a hammerhead at 700 feet. Come back down.
Yeah, it would fit in there very nicely. So
And that's a nice thing too. When you're doing aerobatics, you're not concerned about air if you have one of those tanks.
Well,
whatsoever.
Kenneth Rowe asked, could you put them in the wings?
No, the
No.
rubbing problem is with that.
yeah, so basically the downside with the bags is they need to be free floating, right? So when this is sitting in that Carf Rebel Classic behind Russell, the most important part is that this fuel containment device sits in its little specified area
Like a
and doesn't
balloon.
rub on anything.
It's like a bladder, but
Yeah.
a balloon bladder. I don't
So
know.
it's not like a real aircraft where you've got super heavy, thick rubber that is lining an area. It's free floating and it can't be rubbing on anything. So, the lighter they are, the floatier they are. Yes. And oh yeah, and you lose weight in the UAT. That's right.
Yeah, a
Yep.
couple ounces there.
So Swamp Fox said refueling pump needs an adjustable pressure bypass line for bag use. This would stop some of the fuel spills.
It's a marketing thing right there. So
Well, yeah, and Jordan Factor, if you watched my video from Joe Nall
Showed that
about
release valve
this,
that
yeah,
he-
Jordan Factor's fueling system has a pressure cutoff. So basically it fills up until the bag's full and then it cuts off. So,
And then he presses a button and it takes
typical.
out the rest of the air.
yeah.
That's typical engineering.
He gets rid of the air out of the bag, so
Yeah.
there's nothing there.
What about a Kevlar? Aaron said, what about a Kevlar bag and then the fuel bag? I mean, you could.
Well, our CMJ jets tanks are Kevlar.
Yeah.
They are Kevlar.
Yeah.
So
But I think it comes down to like not being so rigid with things like, and I don't mean specifically tanks, I mean more about the rules, right? Like the Picaros, I would never try and put a bag in that Picaro because you've got conformal tanks that are sitting against the intakes and the fuselage. You've got a belly tank that's like jammed underneath everything. So it just doesn't make sense. But a sports jet where you have room absolutely makes sense.
there's definitely a place and time for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then, like, say, you put them in the wings and look how much fuel you can put in there. And really, do you need to fly that long?
No.
You know,
What
because
are you
like
trying to be like
fill up a
drone?
wing and then you'll be sitting up there flying for 2 hours. And
Well,
then,
even my Atom with 4.5 liters, it's just stupid. Like I fly for 7 minutes, and then I fly 3 to 4 minutes of 3D stuff, and I land, and I have 50% fuel left.
I know.
Like it's nuts. It's dumb. I could be up flying for 20 minutes. So
and that's a long time to fly.
it
really.
is. I'm
You'd be
Attention
exhausted.
span starts to go
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
after a while.
I'm kind of done after about 7 minutes.
You have to
so-
program in the
Yeah.
flight. Program
Yeah.
in the flight into your thing if you can just walk away, have a beer, watch the plane fly, and then come back out,
You don't
land it.
drink and fly.
Yeah,
Okay, have a Coke.
it's better.
Easy what you
Come
say.
back. Sorry. Come back and
There's
then
rules about bottle and throttle.
press a button and make it land, you know. AI flight.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, maybe we'll have a fuel bag equipped plane at Towfield. We'll see.
That's another thing. How would it work in a float plane? Would it be safe if you hit the water?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Why
Yeah.
not? Water is just as hard as the ground is.
Oh, if you haven't gone float flying, then yes, you need the time. There you go.
When is the pattern?
When is the pattern plane going to fly? I'm not sure, so I don't want to maiden it myself. I was hoping that Jurgen, the owner, would come and fly it and do the maiden, so I'm not sure.
See, Swamp Fox, 8 hours from bottle to throttle. That's right, man. Back in my racing days, it was like that.
Platus on floats, yep. It'll float.
You'll float.
Awesome. All right, guys, final call. If you have any questions, ask away. We're the blue shirt crew tonight,
Now, Jeremy asks,
and we didn't even call and
No, we didn't
Pre-plan.
even know. Gee, we're all blue.
just happened to be in the row.
Yeah. Are there any places to fly on Vancouver Island? Good question. I think there is a place, but I don't think you can fly turbines there. What a surprise. But I think they allow them on the air show days.
Yeah.
So once a year.
There's a small airport by Tofino. A small actual airport.
Oilers are down 2-0.
Oh boy.
Is Oilers, is it that soccer or what is that? I'm not sure what that is.
You're
Are you
really
watching
rubbing
soccer, Aaron?
in- Aaron, that's not nice. Too
I was joking with him
Isn't
earlier.
it political? Because, like, say, I thought that oil went up last time because of these bombings. Oh, wrong kind of oil?
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Thanks for tuning into the live. It's a good time.
Next
I
time
think-
we'll have cushions and
Yeah.
different color shirts.
Sing
Yeah,
Kumbaya.
this is weird. Like, this is amazing.
Well, my favorite color is blue, so that's not really weird for
Well,
me.
yeah, well, my shirt, yeah, blue or red, and then I get the
But
angle.
it makes your ginger stick out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's different shades of blue. There we go.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I think we are going to be doing our next live in 2 weeks. I'm not sure what day that is. That's probably July 1st weekend, right? Because this is the 15th, something like that. Anyways,
Yeah, that's close to it.
we'll see. Summer's here, so we'll see. Bring it to Towfield. Might do that, Aaron. Might
Yep.
do that. I think it'd be good for everybody to see a
Get
bag
their hands on
in
it.
access or bag in
Heck.
person.
We'll even bring this old one and you can compare.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao.